Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving right into the new mandate for modern business data and exactly why traditional platforms are, frankly, just failing to keep up with the massive demands of generative AI. You know, we hear the term data-driven all the time, right? But right now, we are in the middle of a massive shift. Your organization's success doesn't just rely on collecting data anymore. Honestly, everybody does that. It relies on how effectively you use that data to drive truly intelligent decision-making. We're talking about shifting from reactive strategies to proactive ones. So today, we're going to explore how data intelligence fundamentally changes what is actually possible with your data. It's about building applications that can genuinely reason, all while keeping humans directly in the loop.
Okay, let's kick things off by asking a pretty crucial question right out of the gate. What good is an AI model if it doesn't actually understand the specific context of your business? I mean, generative AI is incredibly powerful. We all know it can interpret data, create new content, analyze crazy complex information. But if you take a generic Gen AI model and just apply it to your business without any context, well, it's literally like hiring a brilliant consultant who knows absolutely nothing about your industry, your customers, or your internal operations. To get those strategic, actionable insights, the AI needs to understand the unique semantics of your data. It needs to know your weird internal acronyms, your specific metrics, and your historical context. So this brings us to data intelligence. And let's be clear, this isn't just another industry buzzword. It's a very specific leap forward that applies Gen AI to reason over your actual enterprise data. It's basically the marriage of generative AI with a modern data lakehouse architecture. And this combination is a total game changer. It allows your systems to sift through massive amounts of fragmented information, because let's face it, your data is probably a mix of structured, unstructured, and semi-structured messes, and it makes sense of it all. It transforms data gathering and analysis into a highly intuitive process, which ultimately empowers your employees to just self-serve their own insights and work so much more efficiently.
Think about the stark contrast between those legacy systems that require endless manual coding and modern platforms that actually use natural language to adapt. Back in the day, legacy data warehouses were, well, practically static. They stored data, sure, but they had zero semantic understanding of what that data actually meant. If a business leader wanted an insight, they had to submit an IT ticket, wait for highly skilled engineers to manually write complex code, and then just cross their fingers and hope the resulting report was what they actually asked for. A data intelligence platform, on the other hand, it continually learns about usage trends and human feedback. It takes those learnings and uses them to make the entire platform faster, better, and inherently more intuitive.
Now, what's really fascinating here is how this technology completely humanizes the whole process. Imagine democratizing data so anyone in the company can discover insights naturally. You don't need to know SQL, you don't need to understand complex database schemas. Because data intelligence understands the language of your organization. A business analyst, a marketing manager, or an executive can literally just type out a question in plain English. And by using natural language processing, the system looks at the actual context of the question, not just doing some basic keyword match, and it retrieves the exact insight they need. It just completely levels the playing field for data access. So, looking at the Databricks architecture, at the very core of all this is the data intelligence engine. By building on a foundation of unified data and unified governance, you completely eliminate those data silos that normally fragment and slow down organizations. Whether you're doing business intelligence, data warehousing, AI and data science, or real-time analytics, every single thing is pulling from the exact same open data lake foundation. It's a single cohesive environment. And that is absolutely crucial for ensuring consistency and accuracy across the entire company. To actually make this engine work, it relies on 6 core attributes that take all that fragmented, siloed information and turn it into a smart ecosystem. Let's run through them real quick. First, it has to be intelligent, really understanding your unique semantics. Second, simple, utilizing natural language so anyone can use it. Third, governed, which ensures strict security and compliance. Fourth, robust, meaning it's fully capable of handling massive, complex datasets. Fifth, streamlined, automatically optimizing performance and infrastructure behind the scenes. And finally, unified, bringing all your data and AI workflows into one single platform so you aren't constantly moving data around between disconnected systems. And speaking of governance, this isn't just a compliance checkbox anymore. It requires end-to-end transparency. That transparency is provided by tools like Unity Catalog to ensure safe sharing and federation without ever compromising your privacy. Look, when you introduce AI into your business, security isn't just a nice-to-have feature. It's the absolute foundation.
You have to know exactly where your data comes from, how it's being used, and who actually has access to it. Proper governance in a data intelligence platform gives you full visibility from the raw data all the way downstream to applications, notebooks, and dashboards. That means highly regulated fields like medical or financial organizations can securely leverage AI on their most sensitive information while maintaining strict regulatory compliance and keeping total control over their intellectual property. When we zoom out and look at the real-world business impacts of all this, we see a massive cascading effect. Empowering everyday users directly leads to better collaboration, which ultimately streamlines operations and uncovers some serious cost savings. Think about it. First, by giving non-technical users natural language tools, they aren't waiting on the IT department to make data-driven decisions anymore. Because everyone is working in that common, unified environment we talked about, different teams can look at the same dataset simultaneously, develop code together, and share insights seamlessly. And once you have that level of alignment, the AI can really get to work, identifying inefficiencies, optimizing your infrastructure, and predicting trends, all of which directly results in major cost reductions. Furthermore, this unified and governed foundation is exactly what prepares your data so that emerging machine learning and generative AI models are actually accurate. We've all heard the phrase garbage in, garbage out, right? Well, data intelligence provides the ultimate foundation for AI because it prepares and transforms your data into a highly structured, reliable format. If you're going to build bespoke AI applications or utilize predictive models that actually drive innovation and uncover new business models, you absolutely must have high-quality, well-governed data. This platform does all the heavy lifting so your AI can operate at its absolute peak potential. To wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final thought to consider for your own organization's future in this new era of conversational intelligent data. We are moving way past the days of rigid dashboards and siloed data warehouses. The future belongs to organizations that can securely and seamlessly converse with their data, uncovering complex patterns, and testing new business models completely on the fly. So ask yourself, is your data currently just a static storage expense, or is it an active, intelligent teammate? Thank you so much for joining me for this deep dive, and I really hope this gives you a clear roadmap for making the evolutionary leap to data intelligence.